I make a lot of videos about sprinting specifically, and it feels like I'm kind of beating the same drum over and over again. But I think the reason that is that sprinting is one of the lowest hanging fruit in gen pop recreational training that is going to make a very substantial difference in your quality of life and just development of overall athleticism, longevity, and strength. Sprinting, power development, plyometrics is kind of a very undervalued aspect of training. Sprinting specifically, well, all power training, but especially sprinting, is just such a potent developmental exercise. Trains so many different qualities and builds longevity and quality of life, especially into older age. To those of you who actually know what you're doing, please don't hate. I'm just some gym bro with no sport background who just got into power and track and stuff. I know my form is shit. You don't gotta tell me. Last year I hit a fastest speed of 19.5 miles an hour. So that was my PR, which was a flying 10 of 1.15 seconds. I kind of had to stop after that because I was starting to run too fast for what my body could handle. I would just get really bad shin splints pain. So the last couple of months, I took off of sprinting just to strengthen my connective tissue, my tendons and everything, to get back into sprinting and be able to get faster this time. I am pretty heavy though, so I'm definitely not going to be breaking that. We're just going to do some flying 10s. So I'm going to have a 20-yard build. So I have 20 yards to build up to top speed, and then from the 2 sets of cones, I'm just going to try to bull rush through them as fast as possible. Again, usually I would have laser gates set up, which would tell me how quickly I'm covering those 10 meters, not yards. But battery died, so I'm just going to have to do this old school. Let's go ahead and do the first rep. The flying 10s specifically are going to be working on max velocity. It's going to teach you to maintain your top velocity, increase it. So different part of the speed spectrum, acceleration versus max velocity. This is geared again towards max velocity. My acceleration day is on a different day of my program. Yeah. And so I just was hitting my rep, and probably in the last video you saw it. I met a dude who's training for football. First time ever I've seen someone do flying 10s. So I went over and talked to him, and we had a pretty long conversation that I actually happened to record everything on. So yeah, but kind of like he was reiterating and I was reiterating, sprinting, super undervalued. You don't get old and stop sprinting for that reason. You get old because you stop sprinting. If you sprint just like anything else and you maintain that quality, then you can do it into your 50s, 60s, 70s, which is my goal. I'm not saying you're going to be faster at 70 than you will when you're 30, but you'll be fast for a 70-year-old. That's what matters. I've built my body up to being able to come back to max velocity training because I spent a couple of weeks doing tempo runs, which I have another video on as to how do I train them, how do I program them, how do I structure it into the training program. The tempo runs are essentially just max velocity sprints done at sub-maximal speeds. You're not jogging. You're doing the full max velocity technique, moving through all of the phases of the max velocity gait, which I've forgotten what they're called. It's super complex. But after doing that for a couple of weeks, it's kind of conditioned my tissues. So since I did about typically 800-yard tempo runs, I can now reduce the volume but increase the intensity, and that'll kind of equate and not beat me up because I got deadlifts tomorrow. All right, so I'm 4 reps in. I got maybe 1 or 2 more, probably 2. I'm feeling pretty good today. Yeah, so that's kind of the synopsis of this entire workout. Flying 10s, sprints are good for you. I do plan with my new program structure for keeping sprinting year round instead of cycling on and off. At least 1 sprint day, even if it's just 10 and 20 yard sprints doing acceleration stuff. The difference that it makes qualitatively long term in your program, especially in being able to retain athleticism, you know, that twitchy springiness that kids have that we all apparently magically seem to lose as we get old. It's just massive. Just minimum effective volume year round. It's going to be the goal. So anyways, I'll wrap this up with my 2 last runs. Thanks for watching.